the great thing about Royce's case is that it's a law-abiding citizen.
Right.
Testing the breadth of this, new constitutional provision, Amendment 5, you're correct, that we passed last November. And that's what's important about this case, because we need a good test case to create good constitutional jurisprudence going forward in this fight.
And is this why you took this case?
Yes, I believe strongly in this case, and it's really not every day that your old contracts professor from law school calls you up a decade later to test you again, or to have you bring a test case, I guess would be fairly said, on his behalf, a test case that could have a big impact. And so it was a huge honor to get his call.
What has been the reception to this challenge, particularly from the university, Royce?
Well, the university has hired one of the large outside law firms. And Jen may know a little bit more about their circumstances than I.
Okay, Jennifer?
The university retained outside counsel, a law firm called Bryan Cave, and a fleet of attorneys.
Yes, I know Bryan Cave. Oh, yes.
And so, as you know, they're widely regarded as the best and most expensive of the big law firms here in Missouri, and they've hired a fleet of attorneys out of both the St. Louis and the Kansas City offices to fight us on this case. So obviously they're taking this case very seriously, and they're fighting us tooth and nail.
That's quite impressive that they would have that response to just, a professor that wants to embrace his God-given natural right of self-defense. And of course, I know that fights like this, they don't come cheap. Particularly, as you just said, Bryan Cave, a huge law firm that the university has hired, which obviously sends the message that they are very much against you challenging them on this issue. They would very much, I guess, is it currently a gun-free zone?
Yes, it is a gun-free zone except for Mizzou police officers, and then another very minor exception: no one can bear arms, even a tenured faculty member who holds a CCW permit, and he has extensive training on the lawful use and safe handling of firearms.
Right.
He can't carry either. The university's response also claims that they are above a state statute that says that state employers are required to allow state employees to have a personal firearm in their personal vehicles.
Right.
While that a vehicle is on state property, the university's attorney response says that they are not subject to that law. They've sought to remove this to federal court. They've raised counterclaims against Royce to prohibit anyone, including Royce and pretty much everyone else, from ever carrying on campus. And they're even seeking that Royce pay their attorney's fees.
Oh, my. Well,
yes.
And then, which makes it all the more important to win this case, which I can't imagine, that was going to be my question to you. I can't imagine, Royce or Jennifer, that this is a cheap, for the lack of a better way to put it, a cheap fight. And I know that professors are taken care of, but how on earth are you financing this massive fight? Because this is not just a fight for you. This is going to set a precedence in the state of Missouri,
Absolutely.
ultimately nationally.
Well, I had originally envisioned a much more streamlined litigation. Now, obviously, circumstances have changed, and this is going to be substantially more expensive than I had originally anticipated. I was going to be just paying this out of my, retirement and my savings, but circumstances have changed, and I am at the moment trying to get some outside funding. We've contacted GoFundMe and started a campaign. If any of your audience members are interested in supporting us.
We have it right there on the screen. We're kind of really good with the GoFundMe fundraisers, particularly after the Memories Pizza one. That would almost hit $1 million. So we're pretty good with the GoFundMe stuff. It's GoFundMe.com/Team Royce. We have it there at the bottom of the screen. So what's next? I mean, what is the progression of this? Because where do you go? Where do you go from here?
Well, from here, we're going to bring this case and the gun debate down from the bully pulpit and into the courtroom and make them prove with real facts instead of emotional rhetoric that banning Royce from having a firearm on campus makes campus safer. And they can bring as many attorneys as they want to this fight, but we've got the facts and we've got the Constitution on our side, and we're going to see this thing through.